Cameraman is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the man got that stuff. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard.
This is your boy.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash, the true Inferno. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite commentary video gameplay for you guys. This one is crazy. It's been one thing after another, after another, after another. So what's going on here? AMP drama. AMP drama. So, let's start from the very beginning of this whole fiasco. Sorry, so it all started when they came out with a video that like was really successful for them. And I'm talking about the AMP Penthouse. So for some strange reason, I don't know why, I don't know the full reason behind this, but here's the deal. They got themselves a penthouse in New York. That legit happened. Why did that happen? I have no idea. Why did they decide to do this? I have no idea. This is 11 days ago. So they got a penthouse in NYC, and like all of them are in this mug. So obviously, I mean, you know, obviously you got Agent, you got Kai, you got Duke, you got Just Davis, you got Chris, and even Fanum, who been ghost for the past few AMP videos. He pulled up for this as well. So they all got this penthouse. This is a 2-story penthouse that is worth, if memory serves it correctly, over $3 or $30 million, something like that. I know it's in the millions. And then here's the crazy thing, right? I think 3 days after they dropped that video, which is currently sitting at 5.8 million views, by the way. 3 days after they got that, or dropped that video rather, they got kicked out. They got kicked out of the penthouse, which is crazy. So what happened? So here's what we know so far. So the owner of the penthouse kept showing up unannounced, like no notice. The first time he showed up, he went into Agent's room, or the place where Agent was sleeping, and he literally was sleeping. The owner just came in and literally woke him up and basically was like, the place ain't clean. And here's the thing about that, according to AMP. Now let's be real. Like if you got a penthouse like this, AMP got money. AMP got money. So the word is, well, not the word is, but according to them, they got a cleaning service that they show up every day, like once per day, and they pay, I think, $700. I think that's $700 per day just to clean up the place. So there's that. And then the second time, the next day, the owner showed up. They didn't let him in. And then because of that, he kicked them out without a refund. So, and he was like, yo, y'all got to be out within 24 hours. And that was that. So at this moment, like everybody doing their own thing. They're trying to get another penthouse. Now, why are they trying to get a penthouse in New York? I have no clue. They're struggling to get one. They were recently at DreamsCon, which was in, I think in Texas, if I remember serves it correctly. So yeah, this is crazy. This is really, really crazy. Now, y'all probably wondering, like, do they have a case to sue? And to be honest, yeah, they do. They actually do. They actually could potentially sue. So here's the thing. If you were to look this up, you would find the following. In New York, I basically, well, this is New York. We're going by New York. We ain't going by my state, which is Michigan, because obviously an owner cannot do that on a tenant. They cannot pull up on a tenant like that unless they have a week notice. So in New York, landlords can enter a tenant's unit under specific conditions, but they must comply with basic laws to avoid infringing on the tenant's rights. Landlords can enter without the tenant's consent in emergencies, such as if there is smoke, water, or gas coming from the apartment. They can also enter without consent if the tenant has abandoned the premises. And none of those cases are true. Moving on though. In non-emergency situations, landlords can enter the property during reasonable hours with reasonable notice. For example, in New York City, landlords need at least 1 week written notice from non-emergency repairs and at least 24 hours written notice for inspections rather. Landlords and tenants often create a notification clause that outlines the conditions under which the landlord can enter the unit. These notifications are usually sent by certified mail for security and tracking in case of a dispute. Now this is where things get funny. If a tenant refuses to let the landlord in, the landlord may have grounds to start eviction proceedings, which is what happened here. They refused to let him in, so he basically said you had 24 hours to get out. But I'm assuming that last part was in case the landlord actually followed the law and said, yo, I'm pulling up a week from now, and sent them a written note saying so, and they refused to let him in. I don't know. Here's the thing. We have no clue when that video was recorded. Obviously, you got to record the video, you got to edit the video and all that jazz. All that took, like the video itself is like 20 minutes long, by the way. So I just want to throw that out there. The video is legit 20 minutes long, and it came out on July the 20th. So we had no idea, or as far as I know, rather, I have no idea how long they've been in this house. They've been in this penthouse. So they could have been in there a week prior to the video drop, and they ignored notification from the tenant. That might be a thing. Outside of that, I have no idea how long they've been staying in that place, man. As far as I know, I have no clue. So they're not in there anymore, and everybody doing their own thing. So there's that. And my take on that is this. If the landlord did not send them a notice saying, hey, I'm pulling up next week. And here's the thing. The landlord showed up twice, according to agent. The landlord showed up back-to-back days. So what that means, so in order for the tenant to do that, or not the tenant, the landlord to do that and not get in trouble, this dude had to send 2 notices. If my understanding of the law is correct, they have to send 2 notices. One saying that we're going to be coming in next week, and then they had to send another one the next day saying we're going to be coming in next week. So, for example, the landlord came in on the 21st and the 22nd. What that means is the landlord had to send the notice on the 14th and one on the 15th. In order for that to make sense, in order for the landlord to have a pass, say, yeah, I'm in my rights because I sent y'all a notice. And then either they didn't get the notice or they saw it and then they trashed it and didn't care, or whatever the case may be. If that was to happen, then AFP doesn't really have a leg to stand on in terms of suing. But to be honest, that's not exactly their priority. Their priority is trying to get another penthouse, which is close to impossible for them to do, to get a 6-bedroom penthouse in New York at a reasonable price. Now, why do they need that? I have no idea. And agent literally said they can't go back to Atlanta. Why they can't go back to Atlanta? I have no idea. So that's all interesting. But getting back to my verdict on this situation, if the landlord did not send a notice saying, hey, I'm going to pull up over the next, these 2 days next week, starting next week, blah, 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 and he just showed up like out the blue without any type of notification, oh yeah, A&P can sue. A&P can sue, like without question. And the fact that they didn't get their money back, yeah, they could sue. They could definitely sue. So there's that issue. Now, we got another issue that happened in New York involving A&P members. Or in this case, we talking about Fanum. So I mentioned Fanum saying like, oh, he been ghost for the last few videos prior to the Penthouse video, by the way. So here's what happened here. This happened 2 days ago. There was some type of parade in New York, and Fanum was in it. He was in the parade. He got a permit for him and his purple ride, which is like a purple Lambo, to be in this parade. So, and he's live streaming it, by the way. He's in the parade. He's not driving himself because he have a sunroof. So he's obviously standing out there like, hey, what's up, it's Fanum. And, people going crazy. I mean, people going crazy. It's Fanum. So, and apparently people are going too crazy. So I don't know when they did this. Either they did this like in the middle of the parade or near the parade or at the end of the parade. And what I mean by the end, I'm talking about from the start of the parade, and they driving along, and then they get to the end point. So either at the end point, slightly before the end point, or like even before the end, or once they reach the end point. I don't know when this part happened, but once they start from the starting point and they drive along, at some point after that, they went away from the route, I guess, or they went somewhere else away from people to get away from the crowd. So, you know, people won't be going crazy. So that happened. And then all of a sudden, you're hearing choppers above their vehicle and the police pulled up on them. We talking like 35 cop vehicles pulled up on them. And like they came out with guns drawn at Fanum and his crew, not AMP, but it's Fanum and his own personal crew. I don't know who was in there. And basically they got everybody out the car. They arrested the driver and the NYPD confiscated his ride. And to make matters worse, they posing on Twitter with the ride. There's pictures of the NYPD like B-boys dancing and got their foot up on the ride acting like they gangsters and stuff. But I think this lasted for a day because not only was the driver, not Fanum by the way, not only was the driver was set released, but Fanum got his whip back as well. But he already came out with a video saying that he was going to sue. And that night, oh gosh, his fans were going crazy. Like they found the dude who was posing on the car, so they outed him. So now people are like going at him in Twitter and social media and all that stuff. Like it's crazy. So Fanum going to sue. It's a crazy situation right there. So in this case, yo, I have to agree with Fanum. He actually showed the permits that him and his people were allowed in the parade, not as a bystander, but like as an attraction. Like they had the rights, they had the permit to drive for the parade. Now the reason, according to the cops, the reason why they did what they did was because Fanum did not have any license plates on the front of his car. Cause I think in NYPD, in New York, with the license plates, it had to be on the front of the car or both the front and the back. I don't know. I know in Michigan it's in the back. It had to be in the back of the car, not in the front. So I don't know about New York. So that's the but still though, here's the thing. You need a chopper, a helicopter, just because somebody don't have a plate. Like it's like, and they were in a parade. Nah, bro. Like I call cap on that. I call cap on that. To me, I think that's trash. So I'm not buying that at all. So yeah, I just think that crazy. I just think that really, really crazy. So okay, so I had to look this up real quick. So New York follows the 2-plate law, which means the driver must have a license plate at the front and the back of the car. Now there was a video that somebody took of Fanum in the parade where he did not have a plate on the front. It did not show the back, so I don't know about the back, but the front, there was no plate in the front. So, but even despite that, bro, you had to pull a gun out on somebody who don't have a plate? Like, no, that is cap. It's cap, man. It's cap. So yeah, Fanum have every right to sue. Like that's ridiculous. And then you got your own police officers posing with the rip, acting like it's theirs and stuff. I'm like, no. Yeah, Fanum have every right to sue, dog. Without question, you have every right to sue them. So there's that. Now for the biggest news. I mean, first of all this is big, but now for the biggest news. And this one is kind of tough to talk about to a degree. But yeah. So Mr. Beast is in his own hot water for 2 reasons, but the second reason we're not going to talk about because obviously people are now figuring out that Mr. Beast is like a fraud and things of that nature. I'm referring to the fact that he having issues with his staff members. That's the one that I'm talking about right here. So here's the thing with that. Why am I bringing this up when it comes to some AMP issues? Well, because Kai is going through the same thing that Mr. Beast is going through. Not in the sense that Kai is a fraud or anything like that, but in the sense that Kai have staff issues similar to Mr. Beast. Like exactly the same as Mr. Beast. In terms of one of his staff members is a fan. If you heard Kendrick Lamar joint, you know what that stands for. So here's the deal, and then we're gonna hit up Indy100.com where this says, and I quote, here's the lead title: Kai Cenat's cameraman Chris V. Everything we know so far about messaging minor allegations. So let's go over the article. Kai Cenat's cameraman Chris, known as Chris V, not Chris next door, that's not cameraman. Chris V has been accused of knowingly sending messages to a minor. Screenshots has been circulated on social media that Chris V continued to send messages to a 17-year-old girl as she revealed her true age after telling him at first she was 19. The exchange is understood to have happened in late 2021 and early 2022. Below is a rundown of everything we know so far and who has said what. The allegations against Chris V, well, first of all, there's no allegations. Like, Kai confirmed himself that, no, this is true, and he actually had to fire him. And he actually did that in a live stream, and we'll get to that live stream in a second. But, yeah. So, basically, against, you know, what the scenario here is, Chris V was messaging a minor, and, like, he newly messaging a minor. So, let's see. Despite taking a step back at first, Chris V is alleged to have carried on a messaging the girl, sending explicit messages on a number of different social media platforms. Separate screenshots claim the alleged victim tried to contact Cenat and his Twitch team, but did not respond in a meaningful way at first. The alleged victim then decided to post screenshots on a X/Twitter thread with FaZe Clan's Your Rage reaching out to her to say Cenat wanted to get in touch with her. The alleged victim sent information to Kai, who confirmed Chris V's phone number is in what was sent to him. So, obviously, Chris V didn't say anything about it. And, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And there's a clip of him, like Kai was live streaming. He's obviously talked about this. He literally broke down in tears and confirmed that, and this was not just his camera. This was actually his best friend. Like, this was actually his best friend who was, in fact, talking to a minor, and he had to fire him. So, yeah, it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. So, that sucks. And it's at the point where it's like, bro, you can't even talk to anybody online, man. You can't hook up anybody online, man. I know there are some stories about, oh, you hook up online, and then y'all met in person, and everything was cool, and y'all got married and stuff like that. But, bro, when these situations constantly happening now, when people are lying about their age, nah, bro. Nah. There's no point in pursuing long-distance relationship. And this is another reason why I don't pursue long-distance relationships, man. Like, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. Like, I need you in person, for starters, for one. And for two, with you in person, I can actually look at you and say, oh, yeah, you over age. Oh, yeah, you closer to my age. You know, stuff like that. And go from there. But, like, this online dating stuff, man, I can't do it. I just can't do it, man. So, there's that. Now, I'm not sure if this was the same stream or in a different stream. I think this was a different stream. But when Kai was talking about this, he was in a U-Haul. He was in the back of a U-Haul. This ain't the first time he live streamed in a U-Haul. But he was in the back of a U-Haul where he talked about this whole situation. And then he did another stream after that, which brings us to the fourth issue. And this is like a smaller one to a degree. So him and Ray were in the U-Haul. And all of a sudden, somebody started driving a U-Haul, and in the process, messed up Kai's setup, his streaming setup. He lost his internet, the stream went out, and his whole desk and setup got destroyed. And the problem with that was, who was driving the U-Haul? How they get in the U-Haul? It was crazy. It's crazy. And that's, at this point, I still don't know, man. But yeah, AMP is like, they've been hit with drama left and right, up and down over the course of the second half of the month of July. So, and at this moment in time, they still don't have a penthouse in New York. So, this is some crazy stuff going on right here, man. This is some crazy stuff right here, man. So, there you go with that. I'm going to call it a wrap. So, with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.